Hey everyone, it's Kaycienikole, and today I'm going to take you through a mini Hatha class where we're going to focus on opening up specifically into the side body, but we'll pretty much target the whole torso, getting into the lower back and even a little bit into the hips. A mini Hatha class means we're going to really condense and shorten the class, but there will still be movement. We'll still get to the standing postures, but we're basically taking a full length class and shrinking the size down into a small, tangible practice. So I would recommend having 2 blocks available for practice just in case. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get ourselves started in a child's pose. Coming onto your knees, separate them wide, or let them come closer together if that feels better. Big toes connect, hips sink back, and slowly just let the spine relax all the way forward and down. Head drops heavy. I'm going to keep my head lifted just for the sake of hearing me more clearly. But for you, just let your head sink down, maybe your forehead. If you want to stack your hands underneath your head, you can. Otherwise, just let the arms rest heavy in front of you. Relaxing from the hands to the elbows to the shoulders and all the way down the body to the hips, the legs, the feet. After you've settled in a little bit here, let's establish some breath. Exhale, let all of your breath empty out. And take a slow breath in, fill up your belly, all the way up into your ribs, and then gradually lift it up into the chest and shoulders. Hold the breath at the top. And open up the mouth. Exhale, let it out. Again, slow inhale, filling up from the bottom to the top, all the way around. Once you've reached the top, hold it here. Open up the mouth, let it go. Let's do one more, but we're going to keep the breath through the nose on the exhale as well. Slow breath in, fill up the belly, the ribs, and all the way up into the chest and shoulders. Holding. Keep the breath through the nose just as slowly. Exhale, empty out from the top to the mid and all the way out through the belly and low back. Now relax your breath a little bit here, but still breathing in and out of the nose. We're going to come into an ujjayi breath, which is that light constriction down the back of the throat, giving the breath a more audible sound. Let the mind clear. And allow yourself to be fully present in this moment, exactly as you are. From your child's pose, start to reach your arms long in front of you, but staying in that child's pose. We're just becoming a little more active here. As the arms extend forward, you can even walk them in a little bit and then push the mat away from you. Lengthen out. Let's take a deep breath in, long spine. And on your exhale, keep length into the spine as you walk your hands over to the right side. You can walk off your mat. Right hand walks over and then the left hand follows. Maybe it rests somewhere nearby. Maybe it rests on top of your right hand. Maybe even crosses over. Feel your hips sinking heavy back towards the heels. That nice elongation from that left hip all the way out through the fingertips. One more deepened breath here. Next breath in, slowly walk yourself back around to center. Find length into the spine here. And exhale over to the left side. Same thing as you walk over to the left. Let the left hand set and then let the right hand follow. Close by, resting on top, or crossing over. And as you reach through that hand, feel the heaviness in the right hip, reaching in opposition. Let's take just one more breath in this position. And on your next breath in, walk your hands back around to center and rock your weight up into a tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Adjust as much as you need to. We're going to go through some cat-cows here. So let's take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, chin to your chest, tuck the tail around your back, really curl yourself in. And inhale, drop the belly down like a hammock. Lift up through your chest. Feel your sit bones start to tilt up, that full extension in the spine. And exhale, rounding again, pressing through the hands, pressing through the knees, curling the spine. Inhale, open up, drop the belly, lift up through your chest, lift up through your sit bones. And exhale, round, press to the hands, press to the knees, curl the spine. And then let's meet back in a nice neutral position. We're going to sweep the legs around and make your way into a comfortable seated position. We're going to take the legs long out in front and straddle them nice and wide. As the legs straddle, you might want to pull the flesh back from underneath your sit bones, getting firmly rooted here through the pelvis. We're going to start with just a little bit of hip opening. Take your hands down to the ground in front of you. Inhale, lift up through your chest. Keep the spine long as you exhale, hinge forward over the legs. And as you do, notice where the back wants to start rounding. I want you to back off until the spine can stay long and the pelvis leads the motion. So your sit bones are drawing back as your heart draws forward. Feel free to add in a little side-to-side movement here, just opening up through the inner hips and through the groin. Okay. Now we're going to get a little bit into the side body, a little more depth here. So when you're ready, let's walk the hands all the way back up into an upright seated position. I'm going to turn towards you so it's a little easier to see what I'm doing here, but you can stay exactly where you are. You're going to take the right hand, bring it to the inside of the right leg. This arm is going to continue reaching up and down the leg or bending into the elbow to get deeper. Okay, so right hand plants. And then your left hand, thumb up, start to reach it forward and up by the ear. If it gets snagged anywhere along the way, try to find movement into the shoulder to try to get it as lifted up next to that left ear as possible. Now, as you lift it up, keep your palm facing to the side, thumb pointing back. You're going to lift the spine on a breath in. And exhale, slide your right hand down the inside of the leg. Maybe bend the elbow if you'd like. And take the top arm overhead. As you do, continue to keep the arm in that same positioning. So the palm now is facing towards the floor. Thumb is still pointing back. And then use the bottom arm to press into that leg and help to open up the ribs and chest as you reach over. Now with that top arm, keep reaching through the fingertips. Feel heaviness into your left hip and feel the chest rolling open, reaching that top arm over. One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, come all the way back up and just drop the left hand down. We're going to repeat doing the same thing on the other side. So let's take left hand to the inside of the left leg. Right arm, thumb up, inhale, lift it all the way up over your head. Once again, play with any movement you need to try to get it lifted next to the ear. Lift the spine on your next breath in. And exhale, slide your left hand down the inside of the leg as you stretch the right arm over. As you do, once again, palm facing down, thumb pointing back. And then press into your bottom arm, pressing into the leg. Help to roll the chest open. Couple breaths here. Now, inhale, slowly come all the way back up and let the arms drop back down to center. Now from here, we're going to keep the left leg where it's at, but let's bend the right knee and bring the foot to the inner thigh. Okay, left leg stays kicked out to the side. Now I'm going to turn back to the original orientation here so you can kind of see. Arms reach up, deep breath in, lift your spine. Exhale, twist to the right side. Your left hand is going to catch your right knee, right fingertips to the ground, right behind the hips. Lift the spine, take a deep breath in. And then exhale, twist your ribs and chest, open to that right side. Maybe look back over your right shoulder. 2 more breaths, lifting on the breath in, and then rotating on the breath out. One more here. Deep breath in. Rotating breath out. Now stay in your twist, but that back hand, you're going to reach it back just a little bit behind you and then plant the palms so your weight leans back into the hand. Take the hand that's at your knee and reach it up towards the ceiling. Begin to lift up through your chest as you look up. You can stay here or press your knee and foot into the ground and see if you can lift your hips away from the floor, giving a nice little back bend here. And then on your exhale, slowly bring the hips all the way back down, lifting the spine up, arms drop. And let's take the right leg back out to the side and we'll switch. Bend the left knee, pull the foot to the inside of the thigh. Spine up nice and tall. Arms reach up, take a deep breath in. And exhale, twist to the left side, right hand to your left knee, left fingertips to the ground, right behind the hips. Keep weight in the hips for now. Lift your spine, take a deep breath in. And exhale, twisting yourself open to the left, ribs and chest. Maybe focal point follows. Inhale, lengthening taller. And exhale, twisting a little deeper. One more here. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, twist. Now stay here. Back hand reaches back a little bit and then plant the palm, lean into it. The hand that's at the knee, start to reach it up towards the ceiling. Lift the chest and lift your focal point. Stay here. Maybe press the hips off the ground. Open up across the front of the hips. Open up across the front of the chest and torso. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back down. Let's drop onto the hands. Stretch both legs long. Give them a quick little shake out here. And then we're going to make our way back to tabletop position. You can sweep the legs off to the side or cross your shins, rock over the knees. However you prefer to get here. And from your tabletop position, we're going to take this one nice and slow. You're going to extend your right leg back nice and long behind you. And as you do, let's go ahead and open up that back foot. So you're just kind of pivoting on the toes. The toes are pointing to the side of the mat, the heel grounds. Now, the knee underneath you, let's take that foot and sweep it out behind you. So it's a little bit of a kickstand. And then right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. So this is kind of a modified side plank position or a modified half moon type of position. Now take the top hand, begin to reach it overhead, palm faces towards the ground. And as you do, I want you to think about a rainbow arcing shape. So rather than just reaching straight out, almost arc the hand down as you lift up through your ribs and lift through the side body. Lengthening. Press through that back foot and reach out through the fingertips. Let's take another breath here. Now reach that arm back up towards the ceiling. Maybe look at a focal point down on the ground for stability. You can make adjustments if needed. Otherwise, strong core. Inhale, come all the way up into your gate pose. If you need extra cushion underneath the bottom knee, go ahead and take it. Now, right hand is going to drop down to your right thigh. Left arm reaches up. Deep breath in. And exhale, slide your right hand down the leg. Try to avoid the knee. Stay above or below as your top arm reaches over. Now you're feeling a stretch from your left knee all the way out through those left fingertips. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way up, arms to a T, nice lifted spine. Exhale, twist to the left side. Don't pull on the arms, just let the torso do the work. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Drop the hands down in front of you and then walk them back around to the front. Pivot on your knee and drop both knees back down to the ground, tabletop position. Couple cat-cows here. Next breath in, drop the belly, lift up through your chest, lift up through your sit bones. And then exhale, round, chin to chest, tuck the tail, arch the back. One more round here. Inhale, lengthen, find the extension in the spine. And exhale, press and round. Let's make our way back to a neutral shape here. This time we're going to lengthen the left leg back. Toes are tucked for now. And then you're just going to open up the foot so the toes point to the side and the heel grounds. Now with your right knee, take that foot, sweep it behind you like a kickstand. Left arm reaches up this time. Take a deep breath in. And then take that top arm, stretch it overhead, and create that rainbow arcing shape. Try to angle the fingers towards the ground, lifting through the ribs, lifting through that side body, finding that space. One more breath. Now reach the left hand up towards the ceiling. Find a focal point for stability. Make any adjustments needed. Strong core. Inhale, come all the way up. Dropping your left hand down to your left thigh. Right arm reaches up. Breath in. And exhale, slide the hand down the leg above or below the knee as your right arm draws overhead. Getting that deep stretch down the right side. Make sure you're taking deep breaths. On your next inhale, come all the way up, arms to a T, lifted spine. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Just rotate through your torso. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale to center. Drop the hands down on an exhale, walk them back around to the front. Pivot on your knee and set both knees down to the ground. Inhale, drop the belly, lift up through your chest and sit bones. Exhale, press and round, curl the spine. One more full round. Inhale, drop the belly, cow pose. And exhale into your cat, curl and flex through the spine. Now let's come back to a neutral spinal positioning. We're going to make our way into our first downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Feel free to bend the knees generously here as the weight presses back into the legs, and feel free to pedal out the legs or any movement here that helps you to access more space into your hamstrings, your hips, your back. Couple more breaths. You can always drop the knees down into a tabletop or take child's pose. Now inhale, come high up onto the toes. Exhale, look forward and go ahead and walk your way to the top of the mat. And as you do, let's go ahead and step the feet out wide, about the width of the mat. Let the toes turn out away from each other and just begin to sink the hips down. Now, depending on your flexibility, you might stay in a high squat where your elbows rest on top of your knees. This is going to be a little bit more strength building. If the flexibility allows, maybe you sink down into a low squat. Okay, stay where you are and breathe. Hands can draw to heart center or hands can lower to the ground if needed. Try to open up the thighs. If you're in a high squat, you can just stay here. If you're in a low squat, you can also stay right here, or slide your right arm through the inner leg and set your right hand down. So start to staple it towards the floor. Use that to press into the thigh. Open up your ribs and chest. Left arm reaches up. You can stay here or flip that top palm back and drop the arm into the lower back for a half bind. Let's take another breath. If you're bound, reach the arm back up. And then let's bring hands back to heart center, chest back up, and we'll do the other side. Otherwise, just stay where you are. Maybe left arm slides to the inner left leg, and then staple the hand out and down, keeping it locked in. Then open up the ribs and chest, right arm reaches up. Stay here or flip the palm back, which creates internal rotation on the shoulder. And then bend the elbow, drop it around into the back, and open. Deepen your breath here. And if you're bound, let's go ahead and reach the right arm up, inhale, and bring the hands back to your heart center. Now let's all drop the hands back down to the floor. Walk them forward a little bit if you want more space. Lean towards the hands, lift the hips, walk the feet in about hips width apart, shake out your legs, and land in a forward fold with a bend into the knees. A nice generous bend. Hands can be heavy or grab opposite elbows. Maybe sway yourself side to side a little bit here. And then sway yourself back to center. Let your arms drop heavy. Now, inhale, lengthen your spine. Really draw the heart forward. Pull out through the chest. Maybe your hands press into your shins, blocks, or into the floor. And then exhale, fold. Release yourself down. Press to the feet. Inhale, lift your spine. Come all the way up to standing. Reach up as tall as you can. And then exhale, bring your hands down together. Heart center. We're going to go through just a little bit of a half sun salutation A, just to get a little bit of our blood flowing, get that breath and movement connected. Inhale, arms reach up tall. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, draping all the way down. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Press to the feet. Inhale, come up to standing. Reach up, arms over your head. And on your exhale, let's just fold right back down. Hinge at the waist. You can bend the knees as much as you'd like, draping over. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to standing. Reach up tall. Exhale, forward fold all the way back down. Okay, so from here, we should be at the top of the mat. If you're not, make your way here. Having your blocks somewhere nearby can also be beneficial. Lengthen the spine. Take a deep breath in. Now you're going to take a big step back with your left foot. Big step back, left foot. Open up that back foot 90 degrees so the heel drops down, toes point to the side of the mat. Inhale up, warrior two. As you come up into your warrior two, find the positioning where you can take a nice bend into your front knee. Back leg is straight, arms reaching forward and back. All right, so we aren't going to be here too long. We're just using this as a foundation for the legs, especially as we move into the next posture. Let's flip the front palm. Keep the lower half exactly where it is. And on your next inhale, reach your front hand all the way up and over, lifting through the torso. Back hand can rest at the back leg. Maybe it wraps around the back. Your choice. Reversing your warrior. Keep sinking into the front leg and then lifting that right side body all the way out through the fingertips. Let's take another breath. Now inhale back up. Warrior two. Let's straighten out the front leg. Exhale, you're going to reach forward for triangle. Keep reaching first, lengthening, and then set your right hand down. Start with the shin. Open up the ribs and chest, left arm up. If you want to go deeper, make sure your shoulders stay stacked, your chest stays open. You can always slide your hand down towards your ankle, a block, or towards the ground. Now we're going to take the top hand. We're going to create that same rainbow arcing shape that we did earlier. So left arm starts to reach overhead. And as you do, feel that bowing through the side body, reaching. Make sure you're not curling that left shoulder over. You're keeping your chest open, stretching and directing that stretch right into that left side body. Let's take another breath. Looking down, bend your front knee, hands come down to frame the foot. Pivot on your back foot and give a little push as you step forward to the top of the mat. Long spine, take a breath in. Exhale, big step back with your right foot. Open that back foot 90 degrees as you set the heel, toes point to the side. Inhale up, warrior two, with your left leg forward. Now from here, same thing, bending into the front knee, rolling the thigh open, back leg is straight, hips are level, and arms are parallel with the ground. From here, we're going to flip the front palm, keep your lower half as it is. Inhale, reverse warrior, reaching that arm up and back. Back hand can rest wherever you please. Keep sinking into the legs and then lifting from that front hip all the way up the torso through the fingertips. Take another breath or so here. Inhale up, warrior two. Let's straighten out the front leg. Reach forward. Drop your left hand maybe to the shin to start. Stack the shoulders as the right hand reaches up. Maybe slide the bottom hand down. Ankle, shin, block, or to the floor. Now take the top hand. Begin to reach it overhead and create that rainbow arcing shape again. Stretching it overhead and then bowing through the side body. Fingers angle towards the floor. Feel that space. Try not to hold your breath. Now looking down, bend into the front knee, hands come down to frame your foot. This time we're going to pivot on the back foot, step back, drop the knees, take a quick child's pose, sink the hips towards the heels, relax the spine. Take a couple breaths here. Feel free to open up your mouth and let it go. All right, let's come forward, tabletop position, sweep the legs around, find your way into a seat, grab a block, take it with you. We're going to come down onto our backs. As you come onto your back, bend the knees, walk the feet in. We're going to take a nice supported bridge pose. Hips lift up off the floor. Take your block at your desired height and bring it underneath your sacrum, right to the back of the pelvis. And make sure that the height is appropriate to meet you where you are. You can always adjust it higher or lower. And then just let yourself settle here. Relax the lower back. Relax the lower sides. Arms can rest on your body. They can rest out to the sides. Maybe you even rest them overhead, getting a little more opening across the chest and shoulders. Your knees can stay bent, but if it feels good for you, you can also stretch your legs out long and just let the feet flop out. No pinching in the low back. Just make sure it feels comfortable for you. Give yourself 3 deepened breaths in this position. And then if your legs are extended, walk the feet in. If you adjusted your arms, bring them back down to your sides. Lift the hips, remove the block out from underneath you, set it out of the way, and then just lower the hips back down to the ground. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Alrighty. So legs come back to center. Let's cross right ankle over the left thigh for a figure 4 position. You might want to just stay here, pressing the right thigh forward, or lift your left foot off the ground. Use your hands to catch your left thigh or around your left shin, and just drawing in a little bit here, getting that stretch into the outer hip and glute. And maybe if it feels good, if you want a little more intensity, let your legs tip about an inch or 2 to the left side. Inch or 2 to the left. And just increasing a little bit of that sensation. Give yourself a few breaths. Last one here. If you tilted to the side, let's bring it back up to center. Keep the legs crossed, but release your hands and let your left foot touch back down to the ground. We're going to do 2 separate movements here. So keeping your legs crossed as they are, let your legs first tip over to the left until that right foot can touch down to the ground. If it needs to slide down a little bit more independently, it absolutely can. You can also walk it in a little closer. Sometimes I like to hold on to the ankle with my left hand. Now from here, feel that knee opening away from you until it's pointing towards the ceiling, and then feel the length all the way down your right side body as though your right hip is trying to reach forward towards the front of the mat. And if it feels good, take your right hand up overhead and reach out through the fingertips as the hip stretches down and away. Take another breath or 2. And then arm drops back down to the side. You're going to keep the ankle crossed still over that knee. Let yourself pivot on your left foot, bringing the legs back up to center. Now, the foot that's on the ground, that left foot, now you're going to walk it towards the edge of the mat, the left side. Once it touches the edge of the mat, arms open out to the sides. Let your legs tip over to the right side so that right foot stays on top of the left knee as it falls over. Now, if this is too much intensity, you can always just set the right foot down to the ground right next to it. Or you could always take blocks underneath the knees to add that support. Your left foot can walk a little wider. It can walk in more narrow. You can play with that placement as well until you feel the right amount of stretch and opening into the lower back and into the hips. Take a breath or two. Now, if your foot is still resting on top, go ahead and bring it back down to the ground, but keep your knees tipped over to the right side. You're going to take your left hand, reach it up towards the ceiling, and then rock up onto your right shoulder. You're going to take that top hand and rainbow it all the way down to the ground in front of you. And then you're going to start to walk the left fingertips away from you. I like to walk them overhead personally, but you can also walk them directly out in front of the chest or play with the angles. As you walk your left hand away, you're rolling your chest in the direction of the ground. And then take your top leg and foot and kick it out, maybe behind you, maybe it extends. You can play with the angles just like you did with your arm walking away. And as you reach to the top leg, the hip is rolling open, but the chest is rolling down. So you feel your body reaching in opposite directions. 2 deepened breaths. You should hopefully feel a nice lengthening all the way down into your side body, your lower back, and into your hip. And then walk your hand in, walk your top foot in until you can roll everything back to center, back to the ground, knees bent, walk the feet in about hips width apart. And we'll do that same sequence now on the other side. So when you're ready, let's cross left ankle over the right knee. Stay here, just pressing the thigh away, or lift the foot off the ground and weave your hands through to catch your right thigh or your right shin. Make sure your hips stay down on the ground and that you're not using a lot of extra tension to get into this position. Relax the shoulders a little bit. Maybe tip the legs an inch or two to the right side this time if you want that added intensity. And then breathe into it. Let's take 3 breaths here. Really guide your breath into that outer hip, into the glutes. Last breath here. If your legs tip to the right a little bit, let's bring them back to center. Keep them crossed as you set your right foot back down to the ground. And then let your legs tip over to the right side until the sole of that left foot can touch to the ground. Let it slide independently if needed. Right hand might reach down and grab a hold of the ankle, and then feel the knee opening away from you until it points towards the ceiling, lengthening through your left hip. Imagine your left hip is reaching forward towards the front of the mat. And if it feels good, stretch your left arm overhead, reaching from hip to fingertips, stretching them away from each other. Another breath here. And then let the arm come back down to the side. Release the ankle if you have it, but keep it as it is. Swivel them back up to center. Arms out to a T. Take that right foot, walk it over to the edge of the mat to the right side. And then let your legs fall over to the left side. That foot resting on top of the knee, but you can always just set it down next to it. Otherwise, from here, play with the placement. If this feels good, stay. Maybe walk the right foot wider. Maybe walk it in a little closer. Feel what's most appropriate for you. And give yourself a couple breaths in this position before we move on to the next. You're getting some internal and some external hip rotation, getting a nice lift in that lower back. very gentle rotation. Now, if your foot is still resting on top, let's go ahead and bring it back down to the ground. Keep the legs tilted as they are. Right hand is going to reach up towards the ceiling. And then rock up onto your left shoulder as you reach the right fingertip all the way out and down. Same thing, start to play with the angles as you walk the right fingertips out, chest rolling down towards the ground. Then kick out through your top leg. Maybe keep the knee bent, maybe straighten it out. Maybe it reaches behind you, maybe it reaches more forward. Hip is opening, chest is rolling down, and feel that lengthening in both directions. 2 deep breaths here. Slowly start to walk the hand in, walk the foot in until you can roll onto your backs, knees to center. Hug the knees into your chest. Rock yourself from side to side. And then just briefly, we're going to take a little rest. Let's take the feet to the ground. You can either take Savasana, legs long and wide, or feet wide and let the knees knock in and rest on each other for more of a restful or restorative position. Arms can drop out to the sides, opening up across the chest. The shoulders are heavy and relaxed into the floor. Let your eyes sink back into the sockets and exhale, let all of your breath out. We're just going to take 1 deep breath together. Slow inhale, fill up your belly, fill up your ribs, and all the way up into your chest and shoulders, holding at the top of the breath. Maybe sip in a little more air. And then just open up your mouth and let everything go. Let yourself fully surrender into this shape. Relax your breath, relax your body, relax your mind. And for the next couple of minutes, just enjoy this bit of stillness. Begin to deepen your breath. Unless you want to stay here longer, great time to hit pause. As the breath deepens, little movements come back into the fingers and into the toes. Maybe rotating through your joints, rocking through your head. And from wherever you are, stretch your legs long in front of you, arms overhead, full body stretch, reaching. And then let's pull the knees to the chest, hug them in, and sway side to side. Rolling over to either side into a fetal position. And then use your top hand to help press yourself all the way up into any comfortable seat that you choose. Spine up, shoulders soft, hands together at heart center. Take a moment to set an intention to guide you through the rest of your day. Thank your bodies for all that they do for you. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide. Open up your eyes when you're ready. I love being able to take a full class and condense it in, especially because we have busy schedules and it's nice to be able to still get a full practice without a full hour or more. So I would love to hear your feedback. Hopefully you're feeling nice and loose, open, but also feeling nice and strong in your bodies. Feel free to drop it in the comments, share with a friend, and I'm looking forward to practicing with y'all again next time. Thanks so much.